What's happening, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Unparalleled Sports Talk with Joe's Kwame Fisher Jones. As always, I am him. And I'm joined by my man Smoke Freezy as we go through, I guess, the locks edition, gambling edition. What do we call it? Sports betting edition of Unparalleled Sports
Five
Talk, where essentially
stars.
we go
Yeah.
through our NFL picks for the upcoming week. Right now, we sit at a disgusting combined 0-6. I had an 0-3 last week. You had an 0-3 last week. Better days are
I
ahead, though.
thought I was 0-1-1. So I had a push.
Okay. So Damon had that tie to put him 1 step ahead of me. But I
It's like a
started out strong
loss.
this week. I picked Buffalo to beat the Dolphins on Thursday night. The line was Cliff had the line at the Bulls. The Bills were a 2-point dog, and I picked the Bills to win outright, and they won. They smashed the Dolphins literally and figuratively. So right now I sit
Well,
1-0 this week. What did you even play? Did you play the Thursday night game, or were you staying away from that?
I stayed away from everything. The Jets kind of let me down last week. I'm
I
still
tried to
working.
warn you about the Jets. I tried to
You
warn you to stay
did.
away from that
You
game.
did, and I try to think back on it now because, like you said, Rodgers is an old bum.
It's not so much he's a bum, man. The horse don't got any giddy up. Like I said in the reel that I put out, they
Beat
hitch
him
their
out the
wagon to a
pasture and
horse. They
fine.
hitch their wagon to a horse, and the horse doesn't have any giddy up in him. All right, so what you got this week? Who you looking at this week? Give me your first pick.
Well, let me tell you who I like. I kind of like, and you're gonna laugh at me for this one because it's against the norm. But I do like the Carolina Panthers
Really?
giving up 6 points to the San Diego Chargers because the San Diego Chargers is going all the way back east, and I just think I just like the 6 points at home.
That's tough because Jim Harbaugh's got the Chargers. I'm trying to find the line now. Here we go. Yeah, so the Chargers are a 5-point favorite right now. Flipp's got them at a five.
5?
Yeah, Flipp's got the Chargers as a 5-point favorite. So you're picking the Panthers to cover.
Yes, that's all I do is
Interesting.
cover. I
They
like
got their,
taking points.
their doors blown off last week, man. The
They sure
Panthers did.
do,
The Panthers got their doors blown off
and they
by a
stink.
division opponent in the Saints. The Chargers, on the other hand, won their first game. They were Jim Harbaugh. I mean, they did what Jim Harbaugh does. They ran the ball well. They played solid defense. I like your thinking though about them going from west to
Right,
east.
right.
So we'll see how that plays out. I think that's a snot. I see
It's like I
your
said, I'm going against the grain with that one. I mean, I just like the points. I saw it a minute ago at 6. Now it's 5. So,
mm.
which is a big difference.
Well, I like Jacks. I like the Ravens this week. I like the Ravens to cover easy. The line is eight and a
Nine
half.
and a half.
8.5 favorite. They're at home. They're playing the lowly Las Vegas Raiders, who just look
Gardner
like
Minshew.
the Raiders look like their spirit is broken right now, and
Man.
it's sad because it's week 2. Like if you ain't got no heart in week 2, it's gonna be a long ride home. It's gonna be a long
Okay.
ride home. And the Ravens are a physical team. They attack your manhood. They attack your gruff. They take everything out of you. Lamar Jackson's going to work on some things. They're coming off a close loss, literally by inches, to the Kansas City Chiefs. They've had extra day to prepare. Just consider that. You're a physical team. You've got an extra day to prepare for a team that's already quit. Like if
But
we're
my
a team that
issue is with
essentially is our,
Lamar
I don't want to say
Jackson.
they quit, but go ahead.
Lamar Jackson just doesn't seem like the only thing he can do is run the football, and that's problematic for me. I mean, if he's throwing the rock and doing that, I'm good. But he's,
Can he breathe?
he did not impress me against Kansas City Chiefs last week.
All fair points. Can he breathe? Because if he can breathe, he can beat the Raiders. If you can breathe, you can beat the
By
Raiders.
9.5 or 8.5, what
Eight
you
and a
got?
half.
8.5.
I don't even think they'll be within 15 points. I'm being honest with you. And you say, well, why you pick 15? Because 15 is 2 touchdowns and possibly a field goal. That gives you
Are you
17
trying to
points.
say that's a 5-star lock?
Oh no, I never use the phrase lock. Nothing is a lock but a lock.
No,
And even a lock can be unlocked.
you have to call it a lock. Something that you really
Uh,
feel good about.
I feel strong with it. So I'll say it was that. But that's about as much as you're gonna get out of me on that one. What's your
That's
next
fair.
game you got?
That's fair. I also wanted to visit the Detroit Lions playing the Tampa Bay
Ooh, Tampa
Buccaneers.
Bay Buccaneers. You're going into that. You're going into that den, huh? You're gonna touch that game,
I like the Detroit Lions there.
brother, brother,
Detroit
brother, brother, brother.
Detroit Lions -8. I think they're going to punish them.
Ooh. So you
In,
picking the
in
Lions
Tampa
to
Bay,
cover? So what are you doing there? What are you doing with that one?
I'm picking the Lions to win by over 8 points.
Wow, wow. So
I
did you
think they're
watch
going to
any of
get
the
some.
Bucks last week?
I did. I did. They played the Redskins.
Yeah, the Commanders.
Excuse me. Excuse me. The Commanders. Yes.
You didn't walk away from that game impressed at all?
No. No. I mean, first game, Redskins track. I mean, Commanders. But I and plus, I don't really look at the games like that. I'm
Great
I'm going.
insight there.
I'm going with who I think is going to win.
Man, I watched a lot of that game because I picked. If you remember last week, I
And
actually
plus,
picked
it
the
changes
Commanders
from
to
week
beat
to
the
week.
Bucks. I picked the Commanders to beat the Bucks. I thought
Right.
they would go into Tampa Bay and win that game. They didn't. They didn't come close.
But
It it it,
I'm
it
not
was
giving the
ugly.
Commanders. I'm not giving the Commanders any kind of love like that. I think they're trash too.
Well, I don't know how much they're trash, but remember the game Street
Eight
Fighter?
points.
Remember the
Yes.
game Street Fighter? And
Yeah.
when somebody did something well, it would be flawless victory. That
Hmm.
was the Bucks last week. It was a flawless victory.
Over the
Like they
Redskins. Over the Redskins.
annihilated the Commanders in
Commanders.
every facet of the game. It was not even close. I think it was like 37-20 was the final score.
Let
It
me
wasn't even
ask
that
you
close.
this: do you have faith in the QB though?
I
Faith.
I I have a strong disdain for Baker,
I don't
Faker,
like him
Baker,
either.
Faker, Faker, touchdown, Faker, Baker, Baker, touchdown, Faker. I have a strong disdain for him. However,
I'm not.
I have immense respect for Todd Bowles. I have immense respect for Mike Evans. And I believe that what I saw was not an aberration, that Tampa Bay is going to be a formidable team all year. I actually went back and
Mm.
looked at because I thought the Falcons would be a team that would probably win that division, but they would win it with about 7 or 8 wins. I actually looking at the Buccaneers, I know they still got the Eagles on the snide. I know they still got a couple other games, but I think the Buccaneers are going to be a top three record wise team in the NFL.
Okay. So,
Because
what do you say about the Detroit Lions though? Because they're the best team in one of the better teams in the NFC.
I'm not a big Detroit Lions guy. Like I get it, they were good. They're a solid football team.
That's
You
pretty
know, they're
good.
peanut butter and jelly.
They
They're
got a good
solid, can't
defense
go
too.
wrong with them, but they're nothing fancy. And I just don't believe in them. Jared Goff is their quarterback. He's solid. Everything about them is solid. You know, is it their quarterback is solid. Their coach is solid. Their receivers are solid. Their running back, Jamar, what is it? Jamar Gibbs or Jameer Gibbs, solid. They're just a
It's not.
solid football team. There's no
Well, I'm
special there.
on St. Rob. What's his name?
Yeah, you got it
Receiver.
right. Solid. His daddy was a weightlifter, and he taught him with weights, and he's now like everything's solid. They're just good dudes. I just don't see them. I just don't see them coming in and delivering a punch that's going to be strong enough for the Bucks. And the Lions give up the deep ball. They always have. Their secondary is not great. They lost C.J. Gardner. Uh,
I'm looking at that 8 points, and I'm just like, that's a whole lot
that's
of
a bit
points, bro.
much. That's a bit
Yeah.
much.
I may have
Yeah,
to
that's what I
change
said.
that one back up. I'm gonna change that
I
one back.
like the Bucks, and the reason why they're saying is because Vegas and most people, Fliffers got it at 8 points. Most people don't believe in Baker, quarterback Faker. They don't, you know. But
Right,
the
me
fact
neither.
of the matter is, it's not just Baker. Todd Bowles is there, and You've got solid playmakers on both sides of the ball. For me, I'm looking at the Browns and Jaguars.
Oh, I
I'm
was
not
just about to say that
ready.
one.
I'm not ready to give up on Deshaun Watson. But I will say this. He's got another charge. His charges at this point are like Mondays. Every 7 days, there's another one coming. It's just like, but football keeping it on the field, he looks awful, and the team looks
Mm.
awful. They look like they're in trouble. So
Mm.
but Jacksonville, I'm not buying. Man, look, that Trevor, I can't even think of his last name.
Dougie P.
Trevor, yeah, Doug
Dougie P.
Peterson. You know,
That's
the
my boy.
quarterback from Clemson. What's Trevor's last name? I can't think of
Lawrence.
quarterback. Yeah, thank you, Trevor Lawrence. I don't believe anything about their squad. They don't have any playmakers on the outside. They don't have any playmakers
Mm.
on defense. You know, they lost to a Dolphins team that just got shell shocked, literally.
Pretty
5 days
much.
later, they play in a division with the Titans and the Colts, and yet they still can't manage to feast off of that. I don't like anything about Jacksonville. So a 3-point favorite to me is a bit much. And Trevor Lawrence, we keep hearing how good Trevor Lawrence is. We keep hearing how great Trevor Lawrence is going to be. Come postseason, him and Justin Herbert are always holding their helmets on the sideline. So I don't see that changing. I actually like Cleveland to
Mm.
cover that game. I don't know if they went out right, but I like them to cover that game. Maybe Jacksonville pulls it out late with a field
Plus
goal.
three. Okay.
So,
So you're taking Cleveland there plus three.
I'm taking
Let
the
me ask you
Cleveland
about
plus
this.
three.
The New
Saints and
Orleans Saints.
Cowgirls.
Yes. What do you think?
Yeah,
That's
I thought about that game too.
9-6.
We're
And
Flips
the
got it
Saints
at
is
was it Flips got, I believe it at 6.5. I gotta bring it back up. I believe Flips got it at 6.5.
mm,
So here's the oh no, they got it at 6. So the cow I was about to call them the Cowboys. Cowgirls are a 6-point favorite. Saints 6-point dogs. Saints were just one of another great team last week. They annihilated a divisional opponent in the Carolina
right.
Panthers. And it's
Yeah.
one thing to beat a team on the road. It's one thing to beat a team on opening weekend at home. When you beat a divisional opponent, when you soundly, when think about like the year the Eagles got Terrell Owens, his first season with Philadelphia, and he scored 3 touchdowns, and they like lambasted the New York Giants. That lets you know that they were headed towards a great season. That right there lets you know that the Eagles were headed towards a great season. I'm not
Mm.
saying the Saints are headed towards the Super Bowl, but when you annihilate a divisional opponent, it says a lot about you. So normally you would say, well, Dallas, it's September. Dallas is monsters in September. Dallas is a team that flies great in December. But
Mm.
now I'm not feeling it. I think last week's win against the Browns was more about the Browns and less about the Cowboys. So I wouldn't touch that game just because it's Derek Carr, though, for the Saints. But 6 points is a lot. 6 points is a
Right.
lot.
Well, let me say this about the Cowboys. I would automatically think the New Orleans Saints is going to just take the points, 6 points at the Cowboys. But that's just my hatred for the Cowboys,
Yeah.
and
Well, no, I would
I
think
don't
it's
really
a
hate them.
legitimate bit, a legitimate bet.
Yeah, yeah, 6 points. I mean, that's a lot of points too.
Because
So it's going to be in Dallas, though.
yeah, but you consider this: the Saints are a dome team, but they're not going far. From Texas to Louisiana is
I
not
don't
a
have
far
faith in
jolt.
Carr either. I used to like Carr, but not good enough.
It might be just good. Look, with that game, the thing for me is this: can the Cowboys make the? Can they make? Can they? What can I say? Can they make the 15-foot jump shot? Like they're going to have bombs to CD Lamb. They're going to have spectacular plays. You know, Diggs may get an interception, possibly a pick six. But what's going to dictate that 6-point win is if they can make the simple 3rd and 5. If they can,
Mm.
you know what I mean? If they can hold the ball for 15 minutes and maybe it end in a punt, but they still took 15 minutes off the clock. You know, if
I
they
kind
can
of
do
think
those things,
they will be able to. The
you think
Cowboys,
so you like Dallas. So,
Cowgirls.
So you like Dallas to
It's
cover.
not that I like them. It's just that I just have hatred for them, and I just think they're always gonna. I'm always gonna go the other way. So, but 6 points is a lot. You know what I'm saying?
6 points is insane.
And I
Six
I
points
always
is
like taking
insane.
points.
All right, so
I always like
let's wrap
taking points.
another game that I'm curious about, and I don't know why I'm
Let
curious
me
about.
know. Let me know how we're looking on time because this week we should get something down for stated games.
Yeah, we're going to do a recap at the end. I want to get your now. This is tough because we're both diehard Bird fans.
For sure.
But this Falcons, what is that? 6.5 now? I think Flips got it at 6.5. They got a lot of 6.5s this week. Yeah, 6.5. That line jumped. It was 5 a couple of days ago, maybe a day or so ago. Rumor has it that Kirk Cousins is not all the way healthy, and he's
No,
struggling
no,
to.
he looked like he was not healthy last game when they got punished by the Steelers.
But here's my thing with that, and I like the Eagles to cover that. I do. It's not. I'm not putting a
Six
bet
and
on
a
it. But I
half.
like the Eagles. Yeah, I like the Eagles. I think they blow the doors off the Falcons. But here's my gripe. The Eagles pass rush looked non-existent. And you said earlier, well, it's the field, and they had 5-inch spikes instead of 7-inch spikes, and they had to worry about. Look, man, they had no pop off that line, bro. They had none. Huff was
I try to tell you, the field was terrible. The
well.
field was
The
terrible.
Packers seem to get pressure on
You
Jalen
saw
Hurts on that field. The
really
Packers seem to
when
get pressure on Jalen Hurts on that field.
when
The same
when?
game, homeboy.
No, they didn't. The Jalen Hurts put up 38 points on them.
Yeah, he had a good game, but they still got pressure on him. The Eagles, it felt like the Eagles got no pressure all game. It felt like Jordan Love could go back there and do what he wanted to do. In fact, he got hurt leaving the pocket, right? Jordan Love, I think
Was
he
it
got hurt leaving.
outside of pocket?
I think he got
I
hurt
don't think it
outside the
was.
pocket. I got to check that, but yeah.
Maybe.
So I don't know. I wouldn't. The problem is the Falcons are so bad right now. They're so
And the
bad right
Falcons are
now.
so terrible.
Yeah, they're
They
they're, they're
are
so bad,
terrible.
and the Eagles need to
And
fix.
Cousins is hurt.
Well, the Eagles need to fix. The Eagles need to right their ship. They need to get that secondary going, which I think they'll do this game. But that six
You
and a
mean the
half, I
D
saw that.
line?
I was like, wow.
The D line needs to get it. I'm looking for Nolan Smith to do something. I haven't seen him do anything.
Are you bringing back
Joshua,
Hassan Reddick?
yes,
I don't think we talked about it before. I don't know if that's
yes.
ever
Why
been
wouldn't you
done.
not? Huh?
I don't know if that's ever been done. What money are you giving him? Is his money? I mean, if now he's even more brazen because you bringing him back, acknowledging that you're struggling.
What? Well, we're not struggling. That's the problem. We are struggling.
Yeah, that's what
If
I'm
he
saying.
wants twenty
Acknowledging
million
that you're
dollars,
struggling.
if he wants $20 million, give him $20 million. It's not my money.
Huff's got to play better, man. Huff's got to play better. All right, so let's do a recap. So my picks were I like Buffalo outright over Miami,
Okay.
right?
Buffalo
And
over
which
mine.
which was on Thursday night. They won.
Does that count for
I
this week or?
would say again.
I guess it does count for this week, week
It
two.
does count. It was Thursday. Sucker, it was week 2. Stop trying to take my glory. Stop trying to take my glory.
I'm not trying to
Please.
take you one
Some
Vic,
people
and
hate.
God forbid.
I
I'll
like
take
Cleveland. I like Cleveland in the points over Jacksonville. And I like the Ravens to cover on the I like the Ravens at 8.5 over the Raiders. And I'm keeping an eye on that Saints and Cowgirls, but I'm not pushing that. Who are your 3 again, just to recap?
I'm going to go with the Birds, no doubt. The
Wow,
Birds,
so you're gonna play the 6.5.
yes.
You like them to
At
cover?
home, at home, yes.
Big,
Laying the
big
points,
tough talk from the home.
laying the points because I just like I said, the Atlanta Falcons terrible.
Nice.
Let's see the Seattle Seahawks. Let me take them -3 in New England.
Okay. So you taking
Okay.
so you got all new ones in. So you taking the Eagles?
Well, we just didn't get that far, but yeah, the Eagles, the Seahawks, And let's go with we're going to try this one again. The Minnesota Vikings playing at home, playing the 49ers plus 4.5.
What do you like about that Vikings game with the 49ers?
I'm just a hater on the teams that I don't like. And plus, I'm thinking that I like to
Bro,
take
Sam
points.
Darnold is the quarterback for the Vikings, though. Sam Darnold, Arnold with a D. That's what you want to go with?
No, that's not what at this moment I do because I hate the 49ers. And they plus 4. I'm taking the points all the time. But you know,
Yo,
the
that's
40
hilarious.
the 49ers did look good last week though. No BS.
So
No
you
BS.
willing to lose bread to stand on principles and say $10 down on principles?
Who said we're betting money? I'm not betting any money on this. All right, let me check that. Let me take the Indianapolis Colts minus 2.5 playing the Green Bay Packers with the backup QB.
Well, yeah, their backup QB though is Malik Willis. Don't sleep on Malik Willis, man. But good
Malik.
coaching, I think he's gonna be. I think he's gonna be a good player. I don't. I'm being honest with you here. You know, I don't think he got the coaching in Tennessee. This is a lot earlier than maybe they wanted him to go with, but I believe they're going to develop him, and
Okay.
I actually think the Packers are going to be a pretty. They're going to have a really good game against
Okay, but even with Malik Willis, I'm thinking if they had J Love, I'm still liking the Colts. I like the Colts. I like the
Anthony
QB
Richardson.
Richardson.
Man, a lot of home runs, no base hits. He completed
I
9 passes for almost 300 yards. You know, a lot of home runs, no base hits with Anthony Richardson. So I'm staying with. All right.
like them.
So I tried to recap, but you threw new games at me. So give me your games again. Start from the top.
Okay, the Philadelphia Eagles.
Like the Eagles
I'm
to cover
taking.
on points.
I'm giving them 6.5. Okay, with the
Okay.
Philly Eagles. The excuse me. The Indiana Colts minus 2.5.
So you like the Colts to cover.
Yeah,
Okay.
and the Seahawks minus 3 in New England. Even though that's like another game where they're coming all the way back east.
They're
So
coming back east, but it is. I actually like the Pats, the Pats in that game. I like the Patriots in that game. I think they win that game. I'm not putting it in my on putting it on my 3, but I actually think they win that game. Not because anything's wrong with Seattle, or not because anything's wrong with Seattle, but the Patriots, I believe, are kind of playing with house money right now, and they're rocking and rolling, and so that to me is a kind of a red herring, if you will, to jump on them early. It's like Cincinnati, how Joe Burrow struggles in the beginning of every year. It's the
right.
polar opposite, but the same concept, right? All right, well, we'll see how we go. Right now, I'm sitting 1-3, so I'm feel. I mean 1-4, so I'm feeling good about life. I'm feeling good
I'm
about life.
feeling 0-1-1, which is kind
No,
of like a
I'm
loss.
1-3. I'm 1-3, 1-3. So I'm feeling good about life. All right, brother. That's it for this episode of Unparalleled Sports Talk Gambling Edition. I'm your host, Kwame
Peace.
Jones. That's Smoke Freezy. If you enjoyed the podcast, I'm sure you like, share, comment, subscribe, whatever your podcast platform allows you to do. And as always, until next time, we appreciate your time and ear. You be easy.